He's a bum. No. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
He's a bum. Get him out of here. He's a bum. Get Dable out of here too, man. We saw Daniel Jones is gone. We got to get Brian Dable out of here too. What's going on, people? Let me know if I'm good. Let me know if I'm good. Let me know if the vocal is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Hit me with a thumbs up. We got a lot of things to talk about. It is disgusting. Nasty work today. 30-7. 30-7. Man. We saw it though on display today. And guess what? You can't blame Daniel Jones for the day. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. So all the people that said, you know what? I don't want these guys having a chance to pick their own quarterback. I don't want it to happen. And this defense too, oh my gosh. This defense is ugly, but we got a lot of things to talk about, man. Get in here. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Please. Please hit the like button on the way in. Let's get this algorithm jumping. That's it right there, Robbie. That's it right. Dable gotta go, man. Dable gotta go. Dable, listen, man. Some of the decisions, like we barely got into the red zone today. You tell me why. There's a couple of questions when it comes to Brian Dable to do. A couple of head scratches. 4th and 1, you run a jet sweep. That's one thing. And then also when you finally get into the red zone on the back of Tyrone Tracy, and I got some things to talk about with Tyrone Tracy too. You go to the Wildcat in the red zone. Why do you do that? Now he fumbled. Tyrone Tracy did fumble. But why, when we get into the red zone, do you get cute? Why is that happening? You get over the 40. It's not even the red zone. You get over to the 40, our side of the ball, plus side of the field, and he's already a dummy. But he turned into an absolute idiot once we get over the 40-yard line. Like, forget what got you there. You turn around, you're handing the ball to Tyrone Tracy. At one point in the game, Tyrone Tracy was averaging 7 yards a carry. And what did you do? You got away from running the ball. You got away from it. The first drive of the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 8 minutes off the clock. 4 third down conversions, 1 4th down conversion. 14 plays. We couldn't get off the field to save our lives, man. And you want these guys to pick their own quarterback. Daniel Jones is gone now. We don't have Daniel Jones to blame anymore. And I've been telling people it ain't just Daniel Jones. Coaching is a big problem here, and hopefully people see it. I don't know, man. I do know. We got to get, and then they showed a close up of Joe Shane. He's in the box looking like he's by himself. Just sad. Just sad. No, don't be. This is what you created, Joe Shane. You and Brian Dable, this is y'all mess. And to me, they better be lucky that we play on Thanksgiving. Because if we were not playing on Thanksgiving and we had those extra 3 days, Brian Dable would be gone too. And here we go. Okay, we can say whatever we want about DeVito. He shouldn't even been in this position, but it is what it is. I liked him over Drew Lock. I'm guilty of that. I will say this though about DeVito. He didn't have any help either. Good Lord, man. And we listen. He did get out. He did when he was passing the ball. He did get the ball out quick. There were some out routes that he was able to hit Theo Johnson pretty quickly. That one catch from Malik Neighbors, that ball got out quick. So that DeVito is Tommy DeVito. DeVito is DeVito. And I understand we could call it DeVito as a bum. Fantastic. But why is he here still? Who made the decision to do that? Who made the decision for Drew Lock? Who made the decision to skip over Drew Lock to go to DeVito? Who made these decisions? I remember somebody told me in the summertime that they were happy with the quarterback room. Who was that person that said they were happy with the quarterback room? 1 down, 2 more to go. Daniel Jones is gone. Now I'm just waiting on Brian Dable and Joe Shane. That's where it's at right now. That's where it's at right now. If you want to point at DeVito, that's fine. DeVito shouldn't even be in this. He shouldn't even have the opportunity to be called a bum. That's the situation that we're in right now. I can't wait, man. Let me go ahead. Let me get back into these comments because you guys are going off right now, man. Again, make sure you hit that like button on the way in, please. Please do. Let's get this algorithm jumping. And here's one of the biggest questions we get all the time. Shout out to Ricky G. He says, "Who are the replacements, though? Who cares? Who cares?" When Dave Gettleman was trash and everybody wanted him out here, nobody asked that question of, well, who are we going to replace David Gettleman with? Nobody cared. Get somebody else in the building that can do better. Somebody can do better. Somebody can do better than these guys that are in the building right now. So when you say who are the replacements, though, anybody. Somebody better than what we got right now. That's how I answer that question. But shout out to you, Ricky G. But that's how I answer that question. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling at the situation. Absolutely. Shout out to my man Mark Thompson in the building. He says, just awful, Dad. It was bad. I was tweeting throughout the whole game on Twitter. And if you're not following me on Twitter, please do so. I was tweeting throughout the whole game. You know, my emotions are played out throughout the entire game on Twitter. Whenever something happens, or if I see something that I don't like, I will absolutely tweet about it real time. It is crazy, man. It is crazy what we just saw, man. And guess what, though? Teams get their swagger back. We say it time after time after time. We gave the Carolina Panthers their swagger back. And look, they're fighting right now in the game. If that game isn't over yet. Freaking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know, they were on the down. They were on the down. They come to MetLife, and what happens? They've been rejuvenated. Baker Mayfield got some life and some spunk back, right? Pause. Crazy. Baker Mayfield looked like name a top 10 quarterback in the league right now. He looked like name a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. That's how Baker Mayfield looked. And why can't we tackle anybody? Why can't we tackle anybody? How many times do we have somebody dead to rights in the backfield? It's a spin move, or they break the tackle. Somebody's t-shirts are getting ripped, jerseys getting torn, and they go off for another 10 to 12 yards. Bucky Irvin had himself a day today. Did Bucky Irvin catch up to Tyrone Tracy today as far as rookie running backs and yardage? It's crazy to me. And Dable does it every time. It's predictable now. You know, yes, the Buccaneers went up 7-0. You know, we were able to run the ball. It didn't turn in anything. And then we were able to stop the Buccaneers. They punted. We get the ball back. And now, forget running the ball again. Dable wants to start throwing the ball again. Like all of a sudden, he got Eli Manning back there. Stick to the run. We don't have an identity at all. And every time we get a chance to do something good, Dable just goes away from it. And I don't know why. It was only 7-0 at the time. 7-0. And old Brian Burns, man. Brian Burns had a fumble, had a football roll up against his feet. He kicked it. Didn't even know the ball was there. And Baker Mayfield jumped on it. If Brian Burns scoops that fumble up, he probably runs for 97 yards and a touchdown. That's what happens. And I believe at that point in the game, we were, what was it? It was 7-0, or it might have been 10-0. But the whole point is that's a touchdown right there. The ball hit him in the foot. He kicks it and still didn't recognize that was the ball that he just kicked. And Baker Mayfield's the only one that's aware. Everybody else is staring at listen, the Giants have become and are laughable right now. And I say it in a funny manner, but it hurts, man. You got to laugh to stop from crying. This team has broken my faith. My faith is gone. Oh man, listen, man. Host Sahara says McFadden ain't it. I don't know what people see in him, bro. You know what? Yeah, he did miss a couple of tackles, but early on in that game, he was the only one that was actually making a few tackles. Drew Phillips was another one. He ended up missing a big tackle too. But how did we make Baker Mayfield look that good? Like the pocket would collapse, he'll just step up, make somebody move, make somebody miss, and then he's off to the races too. How many rushing yards did Baker Mayfield had today? Almost what, 30, 40 yards? I didn't see Dex. Didn't see Burns. I saw Kayvon Thibodeau make one play against the run. I heard a lot of Tyler Nubin and a lot of Drew Phillips. I heard a lot of their name getting called a lot. Why? Because everybody was getting to the second level, third level before they got touched. And Bobby Okereke, what have they done to Bobby Okereke? Some of this is not Bobby Okereke's fault. And the more and more I watch the way this defense is being played, they have turned Bobby Okereke into a coverage linebacker. Almost 75% of the time, you see Bobby Okereke dropping back to the hook the curl about 10 yards deep, and that's where he's been living. Last year, how did Wink coach Bobby Okereke? Aggressive. He was sending the blitz and do the A gap, B gap, and Bobby Okereke would get home. And that's not even, and we weren't even a great defense last year. But to see some of these players that showed some life last year turn into what they're turning into is crazy to me. Before the season started, I thought about Jason Pinnock, like, yeah, maybe we try to extend him early or something like that. I don't even care about Jason Pinnock anymore. Bobby Okereke, I can't even care about Bobby Okereke now either. We have turned this franchise into a joke, and it's been a joke for a while. And we're just sitting here, tuning in every week, me tuning in every week, having these lives and these streams talking about this team, and I can't say anything good about them now. A lot of people were saying during the game, like, you can see it on the field, like the Giants quit. There's still some players. These young guys are still playing for sure. Guys like Phillips, guys like Nubin. The rookie class is absolutely still playing. They're still fighting. Tommy DeVito was fighting to the end. He just got pummeled. But man, in JMS, I got to eat a lot of crow about JMS. I was beating the table for JMS, and I understand that it's Vita Vea. I understand that it is Vita Vea, but did you see what Vita Vea did? What he did to JMS? The way he walked them down. Did we? It's crazy. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. It's Shane. That's Shane Bowen. No, man, it's not going to work. You have to clean house. There's no other way around it. The house has to be clean, man, from top to bottom. And luckily that the owners can't get fired. Steve Tisch, please step in somewhere. Put the bottle down. Stop drinking, Steve Tisch. Fly to New Jersey, man. Catch the next flight to Newark Airport and show up on 1925, please. Please. Week after week after week, 6 games in a row, the New York Giants have lost, and we haven't won a home game this season. We were this close from a goose egg in this game. Listen, I've seen some bad teams. I wasn't around for the 70s. I didn't see that. This is the worst football I'm seeing. Now, I will say this. Joe Judge set the bar for me for bad coaching. You can't tell me right now that Brian Dable, if Joe Shane is right here, I'm sorry, if Joe Judge is right here, Brian Dable is like, let me get this on the camera right. Brian Dable is probably like right here. There's about this much space in between how bad these guys have been coaching lately. And this man was the coach of the year in 2022. Panthers just tied. See, we give teams their swagger back. We've been doing it for, what was it, in 2022, we gave the Miami Dolphins their swagger back before they fired their coach. They played the Miami Dolphins. I remember that year they played us. They lost at they were like 1-5 or something like that when we played them. And then they ran off like 7 games in a row. Like, we give teams their swagger back, man. And it sucks every time. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. I got to go through here. I'm just going through a rant real quick, man. I do need the Titans to win. Guess what? If the Titans win, we get to delete them in the tankathon. I need the I want the Raiders to win. I needed the Titans to win. Patriots I don't care about because they already got their 3 wins. But right now the New York Giants are 2-9. 2-9. The worst that we've seen in a long time. Worse than what we were last year. And what are we doing? Nothing about it. And week after week, we said it can't get any worse. Last week I said it can't get any worse. Bye week, it can't get any worse, and it keeps on getting worse. Yes, Vrabel is available. Yep, he's a consultant on the Brown staff, I believe. And yes, and a lot of other content creators have already talked about Vrabel. I've said it as well. Right now, Vrabel is my number 1 coach. Because here's the thing. No matter how we feel about it, the best pieces right now are still on the defensive side. All our best pieces are still on the defensive side. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get a defensive coach. We tried offensive-minded head coach since Tom Coughlin left. It was McAdoo. It was Shermer. Joe Judge was a special teams guy, but we brought in Garrett. And now we got Brian Dable, another respected offensive mind at the time that we got him. And look what happened. Look what happened. Go back to the defense. That's where most of the pieces are right now. Go back to the defense. Give me a defensive mind and head coach, not a coordinator, a head coach. And see what we can do with that, man. And figure out who the offensive coordinator is going to be. Like it is crazy right now. What we're seeing on the field right now. John Mara jinxed him. John Mara said, how quick you can go from Bono to Bozo. And Brian Dable has gone from Bono to Bozo. I want Spags. Spags is not leaving. Spags is not coming back after this. Spags ain't coming. Spags is going to make it to the Hall of Fame as a defensive coordinator. That might happen for Spags. If I'm Spags, I'm not leaving until Andy Reid leaves. He tried to be a head coach and failed at it. He's not trying to do that again. I don't think so. I wouldn't mind Spags either, but I don't think that happens. Give me Vrabel, man. That's where I'm at. Give me Vrabel. And before I was saying, go ahead and give me Vrabel, and that way I can keep Shane Bowen. Bowen can kick rocks. Bowen makes no adjustments. If you're not getting pressure with your front four, why aren't you sending anybody consistently? They did not. And it's funny, too, because people say, well, Andrew Thomas is down. We don't have a. They didn't have Christian Worth. And they didn't miss a beat. That's our issue. When our starters go down, the game is over because we don't have any depth on this team. And who is in charge of the depth on this team? The man that's sitting in the ivory tower, Joe Shane. He's the depth guy. He's the reason why this roster looks the way that it looks right now. So if you want to say, let's give Shane the opportunity to pick his quarterback and no, they don't deserve the opportunity. You watch this game today. You tell me those people running the New York Giants right now deserve to pick their own quarterback. No, they don't. Right now, we got 8 picks in the draft. Quarterback is only going to be one of those picks. Those other 7 picks, and we're probably going to get some more comp picks too. Do I want Joe Shane and Brian Dable picking another 8 to 9 new people for the New York Giants? I absolutely don't. I don't. Get them all out of here, man. And again, back to my man's question that what he was saying. Back to his question. Well, who are we going to replace those guys with? I do not care who we replace those guys with right now. I just know that those guys got to go. And guess what? Once they go, you can figure out who you're going to replace them with. But right now, those guys got to go. Right now, if you need a GM replacement, go ahead and put Brandon Brown in there as an interim. If you need a head coach, go ahead and put Mike Kafka in there as an interim. And let these guys get the rest of the season. And then figure out what we can do. It's crazy, man. Shout out to Pim. He said, I feel you. If both Shane and Dable are let go, all good. I mean, it is what it is. Listen, everybody in here watched that game. Luckily for me, and I know a lot of you guys got the YouTube package, you're able to watch multiple games at the same time. Because if I was forced to just watch the Giants game, I will be even more sick right now. Because guess what else I'm watching real football on the 3 other screens while I'm watching the New York Giants as well. And I'm getting real-time comparison because when you got that split screen going and you're watching the New York Giants in the bottom left screen and you got 3 more screens and you're watching other teams play, you're like, wait, this is not even the same game that I'm watching. It's not even the same game that I'm watching. That's how far we have fallen. That's a fact, John. Kafka don't want no parts of this either, man. Kafka don't want no parts of this either. He ain't trying to clean up this mess. Not this year. Not this year. Nobody wants to clean up this mess, man. Why you calling me Fisk? I'm not Fisk. I'm not Fisk. Oh man. But you say you don't agree with what part that I'm talking about. Tell me which part you don't agree with the biggest. Pause. Let me know what you don't agree with. That way we can have some good banter back and forth. Shout out to my man Hirsch for real in the building. It says Thursday is Thanksgiving for the Giants. Yeah. Jabari says play poor for Ward. Yeah. What's going on, Clinton? How y'all doing, man? It's just sad, man. It's sad when you think about how far the Giants have fallen. And I know, right? He called me Fisk. Bookends, what's going on, Bookends? You watch this game. Like I can point out all the flaws. Again, we start this game off. The defense looks horrible. 14 play drive, 8 minutes off the clock, 4 third down conversions, 1 fourth down conversion, touchdown, 7-0 New York Giants are down. Tommy DeVito finally gets on the field. We see Tyrone Tracy do some things on the very first play. What did he go for? 12 yards on the very first play? I think what did they say? We had 8 total plays in the first quarter. I think is what they said. 8 total plays in the first quarter. Not on the drive. 8 total plays in the first quarter. And excuse me for drinking the Tommy DeVito Kool-Aid, man. Excuse me for having a little bit of faith and see that faith get squashed. He said, Tyrone Hill says, Danny DeZero. Yeah, Danny DeZero is hilarious. Tommy DeZero, I know what you mean. DeZero is hilarious, man. TD Midas says the defense is ready for Cancun. That's a fact. And you know what? I know there's some other channels that are live right now at the same time, and hopefully they're as mad as I am about what they're seeing. Shout out to them. Hopefully they're as mad as I am right now, and as mad as it seems like you guys are mad too in the comment section. Like, this is sick. This is nasty work. This is the rock bottom that people are talking about. We're in quarterback hell. The offense is sputtering. Defense is beat up. Not with injuries, just beat up on the field. The Buccaneers did exactly what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it, without much resistance. At least we got some fumbles today, though. At least they got some fumbles today. Oh, my gosh, man. I know what you meant, Tyrone. I know what you meant. The Titans win. Fantastic. That means the New York Giants not only are so the New York Giants are definitely in the second spot right now, but depending on the strength of schedule and I think the Jags are on the bye week. I think they might be on the bye week. Maybe not. But right now, we're probably fighting for the number 1 spot. The one bright spot that's going on right now is that we do need the Raiders to win too, though. I wanted to be more solidified than what it is right now. 9-loss team. It's not even Thanksgiving, and we're already talking about firing everybody. Well, at least I'm talking about that, but you guys look like you're backing me up. Oh, man. Host Sahara says that came in here to make change. Oh, they came in here. They came in here to make changes. Instead, they let our good players walk and decided to pay Jones. That's on them. Exactly. Exactly. So not only so you made a decision to not pay Saquon Barkley, which at the time I kind of agreed with because of the money situation, but to pay Daniel Jones, okay. And then, well, you tagged him. And then when it came to re-up, after you get the Jones deal done, then you go back to Saquon Barkley. Now he's disgruntled. He doesn't even want to be back. And now, before the season is even over, we lose Saquon Barkley again, the free agency, and now Daniel Jones is not even a part of the team anymore. And then Joe Shane got the nerve to preach patience. Like this year 3 is over now. It's over now. Mathematically out of the playoffs. This team is not going anywhere this season. So you telling me in year 3, season 3 of this regime, Joe Shane is still talking about patience, talking about the 2024 class when you were here for the 2022 class and here for the 2023 class. We've seen other teams come in at the same time as Joe Schoen. Other GMs come in at the same time as Joe Schoen, and their teams are way more competitive than us right now. And yes, we started off fast. We went to the playoffs in year one. Won a playoff game in year one, coach of the year one. And ever since then, what's happening? Did somebody say the Commanders lost? Commanders and Dallas score is tied. What's the score? Because I bet the over. I bet the over on that game. And it looked like it was like 10-7 for most of the game when I was watching that. And I couldn't even see that on the 4 screens. So what's the score right now of that Dallas game? So Dallas won. Did Dallas win? Washington just missed the extra point to tie it. Oh, wow. An extra point and they missed it. That's another team. Guess who's crashing down to earth after flying out of the atmosphere? That's the Washington Commanders. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. And now the Cooper Rush-led Dallas Cowboys are going into Thanksgiving to face the lowly New York Giants. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. I'm going to make sure. You know what? What time is that game? What time is that Thursday game? What time is that? 27-26 Dallas. Good Lord. And guess what? Dallas didn't want to win that game. A lot of fans didn't want to win that game. They had high hopes that they were going to try to sneak into the top 5 or something like that and try to get their quarterback as well when they just paid, Dak Prescott. Mark Thompson says Dable is on the podium right now. Dable's, listen, man, I wish I could listen to it right now. That's a fact. Hold on. Where'd it go? It switched before I got a chance to put it up there. But shout out to the big. It says Banks and Bobby were wink guys. I don't think they fit Shane's system. Nobody fits Shane's system. That's a trash. So you saw it today. Dexter Lawrence didn't even fit Shane's system today. And that's Dexter Lawrence. He is schemeless. You could put Dex in anything. You saw him today? Tell me you saw Dexter Lawrence today. Because I saw him out there, but I didn't see that. I didn't feel any kind of impact from Dexter Lawrence. And that's not a knock on Dexter Lawrence. I'm talking about that scheme. Horrible. He said, Mark said that Dable is on the podium, and Bookend's reaction to that is he's on the guillotine. He is on the guillotine. Man, it's like Ned Stark at the end of season 1 for the people that like Game of Thrones. He's like Ned Stark. His head is on the table. On the table. Oh my gosh. So Dallas just ran the onside kickback. Oh man. Good for Dallas. Get a little extra momentum so they can have some little extra juice for the Thursday game. Listen, I understand this is a situation where they tell you to embrace the losses, not embrace the tank. A lot of people tell you embrace the tank. The New York Giants are not tanking. They're actually trying to win games. They're just bad at it. They're bad. They're bad. The coaching staff is bad. The front office is bad. It's just all bad. It's just all bad, man. It's just all bad. Yeah, John Silver said Aziz hurt. Hurt should have traded him now. He's going to walk in the offseason for nothing. That's another thing. And again, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was saying I didn't want to give up Aziz for a 6th rounder. I thought maybe we can get a 5th for him. I thought that. I did think that. But now, hindsight's 2020. I'm not sure where you were, when the trade deadline was here, John. But yeah, you absolutely should have got something for him. You can say the same thing about Darius Slayton, depending on what happens. Yes, they were only offering 6th-round picks for both of those guys. But right now, you're looking at Aziz now, hurt again. I don't know the severity of the injury, but Kayvon Thibodeau was back. You're probably going to see less and less of Aziz Ojulari. And what are you going to do? And that's another thing, too. Maybe that's the reason why you get Shane out of here. Because he can re-sign. He can still try to re-sign players right now in the next 6 weeks. I don't want Joe Shane making any decisions for the future at all. I need him out of here. Out of here. The black cloud, get him out of here. Get him out of here, man. Shane Bowen is trash. Yeah. Shane Bowen is trash. Yep. John said bundle those picks up and move up. I mean, like you're bundling up 6-round picks. You're not going too far up with that. If you're bundling up 6-round picks. But I understand you still get something for them. Something. Still get something. The biggest says Dable wants his QB though, Dash. I think that's what they meant. I think that's why they went straight to DeVito instead of Locke. They don't want to win. I don't believe that one bit. I believe, well, I do see the point in that. They went straight to DeVito because they want butts and seats. They thought that, and we saw it when they announced Tommy DeVito and when he first ran on the field, the crowd cheered. They were ready for Tommy DeVito. They were trying to get some of that magic from last year. They were trying to do that. The crowd was in full on faith mode. Not even faith. They were in full on hope mode because faith is believing. Hope is just, you want something to happen. They were in hope mode for Tommy DeVito to catch lightning in the bottle like he did last year. I drank the Kool-Aid too. I wanted to see Tommy DeVito. Shout out to Jersey. I'm biased. But by the end of the first quarter, we kind of knew. We kind of knew what it was. We kind of knew what it was, and that was a decision that they made. And then the funny thing is, when DeVito got hit in the back of the end zone, and he had to come off the field for a play, Drew Lock came on the field, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, well, are they going to just give Drew Lock the series maybe? But no, they threw DeVito right back in there because you know what? They're not ready to make that move off of DeVito yet. Because had they decided to keep Locke on the field, that just looks even worse for the New York Giants. Because, and also, what do you, if they decide to go with Locke on Thanksgiving, that's another strike against this administration or this regime, I should say. That's another one. Shout out to Tone Lamont with the $2 super chat. He says, barely watched the game, dropping in to say what up. What's going on, Tone? And it's a good thing that you barely watched the game. It wasn't anything to tune in for. You did miss something. You didn't miss anything good, but you missed some bad things. A lot of bad. KC legit says, tired of these flashy coordinators coming in here and effing things up. Get an expensive GM and head coach and run this team the right way. I'm sorry, get an experienced GM and head coach. My bad. My apologies. I agree with that. There's a lot. Listen, Joe Shane was a hot name when he came. Pause. When he got here, he was a hot name. Brian Dable was a hot name when he got here too. And in real time, a lot of people felt good about that. Felt good about Joe Shane. Felt good about Brian Dable. And then after the first year, you really felt good about Joe Shane and felt good about Brian Dable. It's just when we got into that offseason and we decided to sign Daniel Jones and tag Saquon Barkley and stick with Evan Neal and then stick with Joshua Zudo. You start looking like, wait a minute, is the team getting better? And then you get into the draft, and he traded up one spot to get Deontay Banks and traded up a 4th rounder to get Jalen Hyatt, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? What are these decisions that are being made? And then you get into the 2023 season, that thing falls apart, and then you get into this draft. And you're like, hold on, even though the draft picks are playing well this year, I will give them that. I give credit when credit is due. But I'm not going to just forget about everything that happened before this draft class. I'm not going to forget that. And a lot of people say, well, he built up the offensive line, but we still don't have the depth. We see guys get injured. Players get injured on every team, and teams still don't skip a beat. But when the New York Giants miss just one person, everything falls apart. That is all about roster building. That's the depth. That's why you have all these guys. That's how you build your team. Tampa Bay didn't have their left tackle today. They had all-pro Tristan Wirfs was out of the game. Did not play today. Did we expose that? We didn't. We didn't. But when Andrew Thomas is out of the game, just think about this. When Andrew Thomas went down, what's the first thing you thought about? You said, oh, man, Andrew Thomas went down. When other teams starting linemen go down, they go, okay, well, throw what's his name in there. Let's keep this thing going. We have been conditioned to feel this way. We've been losing for so long that we lose one player and the whole season's over. That's how we feel already. When teams lose players all the time, Dallas is trash. They lost Dak Prescott, and all of a sudden Cooper Rush is going toe-to-toe with the Washington Commanders. Cooper Rush. That's a Giants problem that we're having right now. What'd you say, Smokey the Bear Dash? I had connection issues, but I called it close to the score. Believe it. I said 31-13. It was 30-7. Yeah, you said it. Shout out to my man Miz in the building. Miz, man, what's going on, Miz? What's going on, Miz? I already know how you feel. You feel the same way I feel. And explain it to me, like you said in your video. Please explain to me why all these players are gone and playing well in other places, and we sitting here and we trash. McKinney, all pro right now. Saquon Barkley getting MVP votes. Julian Love, a top 5 safety in the league. Leonard Williams, playing well too. People leave here and play better. It's a bad situation, man. And we in it, man. We are in it right now. We are in it right now. Shout out to my man Michael Davey. He says, absolutely with Big Dash and cleaning house. He said this staff collectively destroyed the Giants. It's not just this staff. Yeah, absolutely right. John Mara's hands are all over this. I understand that too, but he's the owner. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just like Jerry Jones. There's no getting rid of Jerry Jones. There's no getting rid of John Mara. But please, somebody step up. John Mara, how about this? And it's been done before. You know, step to the side. Do it again. Hire consultants again. Find another GM who can give you another head coach, and hopefully we can do it again. We're about to build this thing from scratch again. Smokey the Bear says those were all the guys they said were the issues. That's a fact. Listen, well, no, like in the locker room, these guys weren't issues in the locker room. Like Saquon Barkley, ultimate teammate. I know that's not what you mean. I don't want anybody to think that that's what you're saying. I'm just saying, just adding on to what you're saying. Yeah, Saquon Barkley was the leader of this team for as long as he was here. Eli was here, he was gone. Then it was Saquon Barkley's team until Saquon Barkley was no longer here. That's a fact. He said Odell won the Super Bowl. Yeah, Odell left and won the Super Bowl. That's a fact. But all the players that, and we talk about Dave Gettleman, all the best players on this team right now are Dave Gettleman people for the most part, or were Dave Gettleman people for the most part. And now when we look at three drafts for Joe Schoen, who is the superstar out of these 3 drafts from Joe Schoen? Who's the superstar? You telling me you can pick 24 people and you don't have a bona fide superstar yet? Who is the superstar on the New York Giants that Joe Schoen drafted out of 24 people? Who is it? Meanwhile, these teams are picking guys like Puka Nacua in the 5th round in his gyms, and they turn into household names. When's the last time when did Joe Schoen draft the household? Who is the guy? Everybody that's here, Dexter Lawrence is the biggest star on the New York Giants right now. He's doing the Chunky Soup commercials and all that. That's our biggest star, and who brought him here? My man he said Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors has the potential to be fantastic. But what the hell is potential doing if you can't even get the ball? Where was Malik Neighbors today? Where's Malik Neighbors been for the last 3 weeks? Malik Neighbors came on the scene and he lit it on fire. He got the concussion, and I don't know where Malik Neighbors is right now. And that's not even a shot at Malik Neighbors, because The quarterback got to be able to get you the ball. Not saying he's running around wide open, but when you're a wide receiver, you're solely dependent on the quarterback to get you the ball in order for you to be a star. And we don't have the quarterback that can get that man the ball, so he's not a superstar because we can't even get him the ball. He has the ability, the capability. He has everything you need to become a star. And you know what? I hope this doesn't happen. You know how John Mara said we've done everything to ruin Daniel Jones. If we don't get a quarterback in here and a coach that can coach, we're going to ruin and waste Malik Neighbors the same way that we wasted Saquon Barkley. We wasted Saquon Barkley. And now look at him on another team that's winning, and he might be the MVP. So you telling me we get us a good quarterback and a coach that can actually cook up a good scheme? Malik Neighbors has all those abilities to be what we're looking at. We're still talking about Odell Beckham. Malik Neighbors is on the roster right now. He can easily take over what Odell Beckham did. Easily. That much talent, he has that. But nah. Shout out to my man Billy O'Neill. He says, Big Dash, it's crazy. I'm not even mad or disappointed. It's almost expected now. Joe needs to go. I thought maybe Dable needs his own quarterback, but that's not even enough. It's not. Fantastic comment. Fantastic comment. And yes, Neighbors does have drop problems. We have to admit that. And Tracy has a fumbling problem. We have to admit that. Not saying that they can't get over it. You know what? High and tight, Tracy. High and tight. And I'm not just talking about his fumble from today. High and tight. If we got to treat him like Tiki Barber in the early 2000s, then we got to do that. High and tight. And then for Neighbors, just catch the ball. Hold on to it. Shout out to my man Dwayne Murphy in the building. He said that this was a bad day for Brian Dable. Dash, I got to admit it. I was waiting for you, Dwayne. I'm glad you finally showed up. I was waiting for you, Dwayne. It was not good for Brian Dable. Oh, my God. Dwayne. Wildcat in the red zone, Dwayne. You get all the way down into the red zone and you decide to do what? Wildcat. And on that same play, Tracy fumbles the ball. Why? Why go Wildcat there? You got all the way down the field with Tracy. And then you say, Brian Dable goes, you know what? We're on the 6-yard line, 7-yard line. Let's go Wildcat. Let's really try to shake things up. And guess what? The ball shook loose. That's what happened. You tried to shake things up, and the ball got shook loose. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers turn around and go 96 yards on the drive. Or what did they go? 93 yards on the drive. You can't make this stuff up. The football gods are trying to tell us something. They're telling us like, yo, these ain't the guys. Sign after sign after sign. These ain't the guys. Wildcat with a banged up O-line. Exactly. And then you run the Wildcat on the side that you subbed in for the left tackle. Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? Brian Dable, what are you doing? How about this, Dwayne? It's 4th and 1. How about we run a jet sweep with Wan'Dale Robinson? How about that? 4th and 1, jet sweep. Let's do that. Let's move east to west instead of north or south. Let's do that. Excuse me, Brian Dable. You get into these situations where we need you to be the kind of coach that we need you to be, and you have boneheaded ideas. Red zone, Wildcat, 4th and 1, jet sweep. Listen, I didn't play in the NFL. I didn't coach in the NFL. I didn't coach at the college level. But I know better than that. But you know what people will say? Well, if it would have worked, that's the point. The chances of that working are too low. You were better off trying to do a QB sneak. Not really, because Vita Vea is in the middle beating up John Michael Schmitz. What are we doing? He does not deserve a chance to pick his own quarterback. But we get to see 6 more games of this, right? And hopefully by the time we get through these 6 games, everybody will be on the same page as a fan base. And then we can move together as one. Maybe that happens. Hold on, wait. I got to find that comment. I had to find a comment. Dwayne Murphy says this. Why is Dable allergic to running power? I agree, man. You're right. It was bad. He doesn't run the running back power, but guess what kind of power? He'll run a QB power, though. He got Daniel Jones. When he had Daniel Jones back there, he'll run a QB power, but he's not going to run a regular running back power, a regular power. He won't do that. Everything is looping. Like, excuse me. Run a mesh concept, please. How about that? Do something different. Run a mesh. Won't Stop Dream Team Entertainment says fire everybody. That's the type of time I'm on right now, man. That's the type of time I'm on right now. Get them all out of here. Pink slips for everybody. And I hate to say that because we're talking about people's livelihood. And it's not even like Joe Shane to be straight. He got a contract. He still gets paid his money if he's fired. Brian Dable, he has a contract. He'll still get paid out. If all these other guys that are part of the regime under that didn't get those contracts, don't have that guaranteed money, if somebody's fired, those guys are the guys that are going to suffer. These positional coaches that make, 6 figures a year? I don't know how much the linebacker coach, I'm assuming they make like 6 figures a year. At least I would hope. Those are the people that are affected by these regimes and these boneheaded ideas that they're doing. Those guys. Like Shane is fine. Shane would be fine financially. Brian Dable will be fine financially. Not in their pockets. I'm just saying we know how much salary they still. They got 5-year deals. If I'm not mistaken, Joe Shane's making $5 million a season. Brian Dable, $5 million a season. If we fire him today, he still gets $5 million for the next 2 seasons. That's his contract. Unless I'm wrong. We got to start from scratch again. We got to start from scratch again. I will say this, though. No matter how bad the play is on the field right now, when you start looking at some of these individual players, there are some players on the New York Giants. And I hate to admit this, Michael Lombardi was right. I tweeted back at Mike Lombardi when he made the comment. We said, when I look at the New York Giants, I just see a group of guys. I don't see a team. And I told Mike Lombardi, screw you. We ain't even played the game yet. Guess what? Michael Lombardi was right. And I tweeted that to him too, because I told you guys, one thing I'm going to do is be real. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to admit it. And I went straight to Michael Lombardi and said, you're absolutely right. Tweeted him. Like everything you said was absolutely right. We got a bunch of guys, but we don't have a team. That's what Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Bobby Okereke, even though he's not playing his best. We got players. We don't have a team. He said the Madden playbook is trash. Oh, man. Blazing Brazen says Mike Kafka smiling and putting out feelers right now. Listen, Mike Kafka has been going through the motions since they said, no, you can't go to Seattle. He said, all right, I'm just going to be here to back up Brian Dable. Anything he needs me to do, I'm going to do that. We saw the interviews. with Kafka. He was a defeated man. He didn't want to be in New Jersey anymore. Seattle looked like they wanted him. They should have, why keep somebody here if they don't want to be here? That's the one thing that is a recipe for destruction. Keeping people around that don't want to be here. Even you could say that in your regular everyday lives. If nobody wants to be around you, why try to force them to be there? Don't do that to the janitors, man. Don't do that to the janitors. He says, clean the house, even the janitors got to go. Don't do that to the janitors. Oh, man. Dwayne Murphy says, hire Joe Shane's son. Hire Joe Shane's son. He was the smartest person on Hard Knocks. Anyway, not only that, both of his daughters also told him to get a quarterback. But his son said, Dad, what are you doing? This is a one-in-a-lifetime chance that you have here. Draft a quarterback is what he said. But we're a little bit past just the quarterback now. It's a complete fire at 1925 right now. And the one guy that can do something about everything right now is a guy that we also don't like in John Mara. He's the only guy that can go down right now and say, you know what, you and you in the back, you over there with with the medium Pepsi, all four of you guys, you're fired. Get out of here. He's the only person that can do that right now. Oh man, it is crazy. Crazy work for the New York Giants. Crazy. James Williams, what's going on, James? How you doing, brother? He says Tommy Cutlass turned into vegan nuggets. Listen, yeah, and they were cooking cutlets in the before the game, man. Tailgating. I saw people out there with the cast irons frying cutlets. Had a little bit too much oil in there, if we're gonna be honest. But they was out there cooking the cutlets. They was out there cooking the cutlets before the game, and Tampa Bay was cooking cutlets during the game. Oh man, I do too, TD Midas. I want Shedeur Sanders too. I'll take Cam Ward too, though. Let's just be honest. Shedeur is first on my list. It's like 1A, 1B for me right now in this situation. I think both of these guys make the New York Giants better. But outside of that, this team just needs an overhaul. We have some foundational pieces, but we need to clean up a lot. Clean up on our late. Mellow Trade says Cam Ward is better. He's just a straight baller. Nah, listen, again, Shedeur Sanders is first on my list. But I would more than be happy if we were able to get Cam Ward too. Both of those guys, I think, are the only guys in this draft that come in day one and be starters day one. Like day one. Cam Ward can start day one. I'm not saying he will be successful day one, but both of those guys can come here and play day one. I think everybody else has some developing to do. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Big Blue Highlander says the players have lost faith in the coaches. That's one thing, man. That's the last thing that a lot of owners wait for. They wait to see if the coach has lost the locker room. Like when Joe Judge, even though John Mara didn't want to fire Joe Judge just made it impossible for John Mara not to fire him. The locker room was lost. We had the QB kneel downs. That was a bad time, man. That was a bad time. Yeah. Right now, the way it looks, the way that the play is on the field, I absolutely believe that the locker room is lost. We saw some fight from some of the players, and it was the rookie players. It was the rookies out there still fighting. And guys that are still trying to make a team, those were the guys out there fighting. We saw DJ Davidson make a play, heads up play on a fumble recovery. That's who we saw. Just think about this game when you think about it. Don't think, don't get into the details too much. Just think about this game briefly in your head. And who's the first person that pops in your mind? When I'm thinking about this game, the first person that pops in my mind in this game is Tyrone Tracy. That's the first guy. Second guy is going to be Drew Phillips. Third guy is Newman. I'm doing this right now, real time. That's what popped in my head today. Dexter Lawrence didn't pop into my head. Brian Burns didn't pop into my head. Kayvon Thibodeau didn't pop into my head. Deontay Banks didn't pop into my head. No, not even Tommy DeVito popped into my head just now. The first three guys, young guys, man. Those are the guys that are still fighting right now. Tommy Butless is crazy. Tommy Butless. Oh my gosh. Shout out to my man Black Love with the $4.99 super chat. He says, how can anybody bring back this regime? It's time to bring back the GOAT, or bring back the GOAT back home. Are you talking about Belichick? Are you talking about Belichick, Black Love? I appreciate that, Mark, man. I appreciate it, man. It's just like I said, I couldn't wait for that game to be over. I was standing up between this room and my bedroom, and like, okay, why are we calling timeout? It's 4 seconds left. You calling timeout for what? I want to start this show. I got some things to talk about. We made that 11 seconds last 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm trying to get in here and talk to the people. I'm upset. Shout out to you, Mark, man. Be safe. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day, man. Absolutely. Appreciate you for stopping by and hanging out with me, man. Shout out to everybody that's in here too, man. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in or at least on the way out. So this algorithm, we can get this algorithm jumping, man, for sure. Micah too, yeah. Micah had a pretty good game. He did miss one big tackle, but he had a pretty good game. Like, I don't understand. Like, they had Bucky Irvin stopped in the backfield at least 3 to 4 times, and he turned that into like 10 plus yards rushing every time. Andrew Phillips had him dead to rights in the backfield. He spun off of him. Then Andrew Phillips still ended up making a tackle, 30-something yards downfield? And he almost got the strip too. I saw it coming because Bucky Irvin didn't even see him trailing behind him. And he just so happened to make a move right when Drew Phillips tried to swipe at the ball. That could have been a fumble there too, but just not good enough today. Not good enough. Not good enough. James says, salute to Big Dash. You already know. He says, hang on, chat. Just a few games left. It's a few games left, man. It sucks, man. The season is over. I'm talking about 2025 already. And I can't really even talk about it because I don't know who's going to be here. I want them to clean house. I can't wait to see who they bring back in here. Or who they bring in here, I should say. Don't bring back. Whatever, man. I'm mad about it, man. I'm mad about it. Let's see what else we got going on. Some people talking about prime time, huh? Prime time as a head coach, that'd be crazy. Deion Sanders as a head coach, oh boy. I don't know if I'm ready for like Shedeur Sanders is one thing, but Deion Sanders as a head coach in the NFL, boy, no, I can't do it. I mean, I see why you say that, and I know a lot of people talked about that same scenario with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if that happens in New York. I don't know. You got to give up a lot of control. I don't think it works in Dallas either because, like, Deion likes to run the show, and Jerry Jones ain't giving up any kind of, control to that extent. I see why you said it, though. I see why you said it. All right, shout out to Missy, $10 super chat. She says they interviewed Malik Neighbors, and he said the quarterback's not the problem. He said it wasn't Daniel either. They asked him what the problem was, and he said, I don't know. I'm just tired of losing. We already know what it is, Miss E. We know what it is. You know what it is. And I hate to rag on a fellow bald-headed, bearded brother, but Brian Dable gotta go. Gotta go, and Shane Bowen gotta go too. That's that. And then, of course, Joe Shane gotta go too. But salute to you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate the love and support. John Mason, shout out to John. John be hanging out on Twitter with me, man. He says 2025 ain't even looking good. Listen, I know something. I know we got a lot of money, and we can say whatever we want to say about this team and the situation of this team. No matter what you say, it's only 32 teams in the NFL. There's only 32 NFL GM jobs. You're always going to get somebody that wants to come here and have that job. Some people, that's their dream to be a GM, their dream to be a head coach. So there won't be a lack of talent or people out there, prospects out there that you can bring in to be the next GM and bring in to be the next head coach. We won't lack that. It's not, because when you look at the cap situation, we're going to have over 60 million in 2025, and then like over 100 million in 2026. Now, granted, in 2026, right now we only have I think it was 16 to 19 players on the contract, but that's going to change, with next year and this, that, and the third. People are going to get some new contracts, but I think it's still desirable. And if you have the top 5 pick, or if you have the number 1 pick overall, and you're sitting here and you got Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, somebody's going to say, yes, I think I can do something. Somebody's going to look at Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns and Malik Neighbors and whoever the quarterback's going to be, and be like, you know what? I think I can build on that. There's some foundation there. It might be some cracks or something like that, but we can build off of something that's already there. I don't think we'll have a shortage of people that want that job. There might be some people that say no too, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll absolutely see. Shout out to Corey Johnson, $5 super chat. He says, "What's up, Dash? Another terrible performance. At this time, it ain't the quarter, and this time it ain't the quarterback. You're right about Brian Dable. He's gonna be gone before the new quarterback comes. It's just the writing's on the wall, man. The writing's on the wall. And I said it at the beginning of this. I said if it wasn't the quick turnaround, if we weren't going to Dallas on Thursday, I'm pretty sure Brian Dable doesn't have a job tomorrow. But because we got the quick turnaround, and he still might not be safe. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a long 24 hours. We'll find out, man. But if to me, I have strong feelings that if we were not playing on Thanksgiving, we were playing a regular game on Sunday, Brian Dable might have coached his last game, and going out like that is horrible. Horrible. But it is what it is. To answer your question, Big Blue Highlander, yes. Yes, I would take Vrabel. Yes, because I know a leader of men, he is that. A head coach, he is that. He lets his coordinators do their things. Yes. Grown man, defensive minded as well. Yes, it's a yes for me for Vrabel. It could be a yes for me for a bunch of different candidates. But Vrabel right now, is first on my list for sure. For sure. And like I said, there's a lot of Giants. I'm not the only Giants content creator that's saying that. There's a lot of us saying that. He said, "Hey man, pause." That's a fact. He said, "That's a fact." Pause. Khalid Pasha says prime time would actually bring excitement to this horrible franchise. This franchise is dead and needs some life, and prime time can bring. His son brings that. His son would bring that. A new quarterback that everybody agrees with. Everybody won't agree. It's never 100%. It's never 100%. But if you're bringing in a top talent at quarterback, that's the spark that you need too. Now, listen, I hear what you're saying about primetime. I like primetime. We saw what he did. We saw what he did at Jackson State. We saw what he's doing in Colorado right now. He's building something special. I would hate, and again, this is being selfish is one thing, but for me, and when I think about the kids that are affected by, Deion Sanders, he has something going that's fantastic in Colorado right now. You just saw he got the top quarterback prospect that's going to be taking over once Shedeur Sanders is gone. He is building something fantastic over there, and he's coaching at a level where he has a lot of influence over these younger guys, these younger kids that are turning into men when they get into college. I like what he's doing there. When he comes here, he's dealing with a lot of guys that are just as rich as he is. And you know what? It might not be what we thought it was going to be. I think he's more influential when he's dealing with the young men than he would be, at the NFL level. That's just my opinion. But I understand why you're saying that though, for sure. For sure. I'm going to enjoy some of this football for the rest of the day, though. I know that for sure. We already hit the hour mark. We're going to wrap this up pretty soon. Prime is perfect for college, not the NFL. That's where I'm at too, John. That's where I'm at too. So your backup is Belichick. Get me Belichick if we're not getting prime time and his son. But I'm done with these soft coaches. Get us some dogs. I agree with that. Listen, Belichick. I think if you go Belichick, I don't like the Belichick thing because I just like if Belichick were to turn things around, he is 74 years old. He wouldn't be here long. Well, he turned this thing around and retire, and then we're right back to where we're at right now. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to, like I said, Vrabel is still a young enough coach that if he gets there and he's successful, you can see him for another 10 years or something like that. We can see him for the long haul. If we go with Belichick, that's like a 2-year, maybe 3 years max. If we do something like that, I can't do it because then we're right back here. We're right back here. I like it. Somebody else threw this name in here. Is Quiz too swift? He says Aaron Glenn, the DC from the Lions would be a good fit. I think so. I like him too. It's going to be a hard sell. It might be a hard sell, but I like Aaron Glenn. I don't know if I want another first time head coach. That's why I like Vrabel so much. We need somebody that can come in here that has some cachet and can actually clean this thing up. When you go for another, first time head coach, they're trying to learn the ropes. They're trying to, I don't think that the New York Giants are in a situation where we can do that right now. It's not stable enough, especially when you have ownership the way that we have ownership and things aren't steady. I just think that an established head coach is the way to go. And again, that's just my opinion. And I'm not batting 1,000 right now when it comes to my opinion. It's just how I feel about it. B. Drew says you're bad and we'll be bad for a while. He said we have Kalen Waters says we may have another year of losing for Manny. You talking about Arch. Phil Sims for coach. No. B. Drew, no. Khalid says, I think Vrabel keeps us mediocre. It could be. Again, I'm not a genius. I'm just saying as far as what I'm looking for, I need a head coach with some cachet, somebody that can sit here and tell, John Mara, like, hey, sit down, man. Let me run this team. Like we've seen Vrabel, be successful with the Titans. We saw it. Defense, even the leftovers of that defense are still good this year. Hey, Mellow Trey, I haven't got a chance to look at it yet. It really doesn't matter until the afternoon games are over, though. So, once all the teams, I think we got the Raiders that are right behind us. Actually, I'll check real time. I'll check real time to see where we're at right now. Okay, so right now we have the second pick. It says it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right now, Giants got the second round pick. That's a tankathon. There it is. We got 2. So we right there. And then, like I said, are the Jags? I don't know if are the Jags playing Monday night or are they on the bye week? But the whole point is right now, you figure you get one of the guys. You're getting at least one of these quarterback prospects if you stay where you're staying right now. And that's the thing. It's going like in order for the New York Giants to stay where we are right now, we're going to have to feel like this for another 6 weeks. Just a loss and well, me personally being mad, being frustrated, and voicing my opinion about it. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to accept that. What about Eli for head coach? I want a defensive-minded head coach for sure. Eli Manning is chilling right now. He's not trying to deal with any kind of extra stress. He has his quote-unquote job, within the organization, but it's not really a job. It's not really a job. He's out there having fun. Have his, he got his bits and stuff with Sean O'Hara. Eli's fine. Eli don't want no more of this drama. He was able to escape the drama. You're talking about a man that's going into the Hall of Fame, and first ballot Hall of Famer. Shout out to Eli Manning. I believe he will be the first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a semifinalist right now. He's not trying to get that gold jacket and try to turn around and be coaching at the same time. No, sirree, Bob. No. He is fine. I saw you, Notori. He says, just fire everyone. That's a fact. That's where I'm at, too. Clean house. What they say on Game of Thrones, the Mad King said, burn them all. Burn them all, man. Who do you feel bad for? You feel bad for me? Listen, man, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Don't feel too bad, but feel bad for us. We are in this thing together. We all hurt right now. Some of us are smiling though. So some of us have embraced the tank already, and they're just like, yeah, let's lose. Let's keep on losing. I can't do that on game day, man. I'm totally invested in the game. My wife came in at the end of the game. She goes, why are you looking like that? I said, look at the score. I must have had the one of the saddest faces in the world. So she just looked at me like, what's wrong? I said, look at the score. I said, it was Look at the score. Oh boy. That game could have easily been, 23-14. I like the half. It could have been that, 24-10. It could have been that. I'm sorry, not 20. Yeah, 23-10. It could have been that, but no. Nope. At home, and I feel bad. I feel bad for the people with the season tickets, man. They got out of there early. You go to these home games, you have all this energy, you want to cheer at the beginning of the game. You did cheer at the beginning of the game, but by halftime, you're already talking about beating the traffic at halftime. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. Mellow Trade says, come to Atlanta. I was planning to go see them. I'm going to just hold on to my bread. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. Unless you just like the stadium out there and you just want to go see a game. Yeah. I wouldn't put any more money, as far as, and for this team moving forward. But yeah, man, I'm about to get out of here, man. Shout out to everybody that's in here. And again, appreciate you hanging out with me, vibing with me. And make sure, again, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. I'm gonna, read a couple more comments and then we're gonna get out of here so we can watch some more football, man. For sure. B Drew says, how about the balls on Baker doing the DeVito? I mean, it didn't take much. It didn't take much. He got hit. He did a somersault. And he looked like John Elway. He was in the air, got flipped, scored a touchdown, and did the DeVito. And when I saw that, I just was like, I can't even be mad at him, man. We had no fight left. Can't even be mad at him. It's bad, man. I agree with you. TD Minus says, shout out to the chat, Big Dash. Hopefully they figure something out. Not this season. They'll figure it out next year, though. I mean, we'll figure it out in this offseason once we get everybody out of here. Once we get everybody out of here, we can figure something out. And guess what? This offseason, I'm going to be right here throughout the whole situation, recapping and reacting to every move that the New York Giants make or don't make. Period. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.